Alright, the number 190, I guess, of my accountability to myself. I appreciate everyone's attention who watches this. And today, I didn't really have a lot to talk about. Probably I've got something, but I really want to sleep. This night, I slept less than 7 hours, which is detrimental for me, meaning I need just to go to sleep. And also, today, I didn't go to the gym. And tomorrow, the first thing I want to do in the morning is to go to the gym. And also, I want to allocate quite a lot of time to learn about um, neuroplasticity and about a habit system in our mind, right? And also, I need to get done my report that I have not started yet. And also, I have a small piece of work of time that I need to allocate for um, the another project for the portfolio I was making. So I've got some stuff to do tomorrow. By the way, I probably should schedule the day, right? But what about today? Today was nothing because I returned home. It was 8 p.m. I just had my dinner and I spent more than 2 hours fixing my blog. I don't know, I started hating this stuff because it's getting harder and harder. And the main idea is that I have a blog, but there's like prompts that you're using, then you are attaching your blog, and AI basically is supposed to evaluate and give score out of 10. And every time it gives different score, even if you have um, the same blog. That's why it's so hard to reach 9 plus, no matter how many changes you do. But somehow, somewhat, I did, and yeah, so I can go to sleep. And also today I learned some more about neuroplasticity. As I mentioned, it's actually so nice because it explains the idea behind the habit system. Like it's some kind of uh, fundament that you need to understand. And well, what I mean is that what basically neuroplasticity means, it means that our brain can rewire itself, basically meaning that there's a phrase like people don't change or something like that. So once in this life I heard it. It sounds horrible because you give up on someone, which I don't know, it's not really nice. And it's not true. You can rewire your brain, you can activate new neurons, you can build new patterns into your brain through changing your habits, through, like, for example, every time when you learn something, when you put some conscious effort, you try to change your habits or to change your behavior under a certain condition. And it requires some effort. Why? Because, for example, say you've been operating a couple of years in the same way and you've got a pattern, say, like neurons move in a specific way. And every time you was repeating that process, and now it's automized, right? Like it's automatic. You don't need to think about that. You like almost you don't need to think about that. You just you know what to do. Your brain um, doesn't really use a lot of energy, and say your neurons work. They move in circle, right? They need to move in circle every time you like wake up in the morning. You know, oh, I go to brush my teeth, so it moves in this circle, right? But once you decided to change your behavior and you decided to run first in the morning, to go outside and to run, right? you need to change. You need to change your pattern, to change how you act automatically. The first time is so hard, and for a while it's gonna be hard, because normally, today I checked it, it takes 66 days to build a habit. However, it really depends on what you are doing, which might take from 16 days to 256. So you need to be patient when you're building a new habit, and you should read a book, Atomic Habits, to understand how to do this properly, you know. And so, say instead of brushing your teeth in the morning, you want to change it, and first go to run. And then when you return, you brush your teeth, whatever. Now you need to change how your neurons um, transfer the signals in your mind, because now you need to apply it differently, your neurons in your mind. Now, instead of moving in circle, it's supposed to move in zigzag, for example. And now what's going on in your mind? Basically, your old pattern keeps operating. That's why you always, when you start doing something new, it feels hard and you want to return, because you have something that is automated and you're trying to rebuild it with a new pattern, which actually requires your effort, which actually requires your energy. And as a result, you start building this new pattern, say zigzag, right? And what basically is going on, the more you repeat the new process, the stronger it becomes. This zigzag, this um, signals that neuron transfer among each other, it becomes stronger, because it's basically the same, you're doing the same thing, right? Your brain adjusts to this. And the previous pattern, that was a circle, it gets weaker because you don't repeat this pattern anymore. It's not something that you're used to do, right? But it takes time, and that's the problem, because people always expect to change their life overnight, sometimes over a week. In the best case scenario, they just change everything completely. They do this through probably 1 month, burn out, and never try it again. That's why first, if you want to actually change something in your life, you should change it little by little. Second, I would recommend to understand the reason behind this. And the third thing, just it takes time. All right, it basically takes time for your brain, for the neurons to recognize a new pattern, and to replace this pattern as a default one instead of the previous one you had, right? Instead of the circle you had, now you need to have zigzag. It takes time. That's it. That somehow I tried to explain what I remember out of what I was learning today, but I don't really remember it properly. Just, I tried somehow to go through this just to memorize it better, So yeah, that's basically everything I studied today. Nothing special. And tomorrow, finally, as I mentioned, I will have one day. I will be able to study, do whatever I need, get done some things, go to the gym. Well, yeah. And then next week, my studies are gonna start. Great. And well, yeah, in the moment I thought I could bring up one more subject, but I don't really want to bring up anything, because actually it's 11:10, 11:20 p.m. I'm not sure, and I just want to go to sleep because I slept less than 7 hours, right? And I don't really want to wake up tomorrow late. Hopefully I will wake up 7:45, 8, which is already so late. But yeah, and also I got my mind with an idea that I need to wake up at 4:30, meaning I need to go to sleep at 8. I will try to strive for this, but first probably when I finish my internship, because I won't have anything necessary to work on besides university, at least unless I find something else, some kind of, I don't know, job, internship, something where I can learn something, right? And so, well, yeah, because it will be easier to build the schedule, right? So probably the week after the next one, yeah, the week after next week, I will try to implement it. Maybe if everything goes fine, I will try to make some shifts, some changes already next week, because it does not really make sense to change it, significantly. Like when you wake up at 7, then all of a sudden you wake up at 4. It makes no sense. It's such a hard shift. You need to change it little by little, right? So I need to schedule my day for today, and I mentioned everything I wanted to mention. So, without being said, see you in the next one.